Well, I'm going to do one more since I was sitting here thinking about this. My mind goes in a whole bunch of different directions when I start thinking about this stuff too. And like I was saying in the last thing is I'm going to go back up to the bar. Here I'm at that bar in Morton, Washington. That's right over the four-lane bowling center. My mom used to work at that bar. Gladys Shortridge came into that bar and she said to my mother, this is the day that your son murdered my son, to my mother. And, my mother came and told me that. She wanted me to do something to Gladys. No. I just, I said, what did she's like, you believe she would say something like that to me? And I'm like, I was disgusted with my mother because I knew the boy was murdered. Like I would defend her or something about that. And I actually said, well, what did you expect, Mom? I mean, I never candy coated stuff with my mother. My mother hated me for it. Matter of fact, I came out of my mother's wound breach, you guys. My mother hated me. Unknowingly to me, she hated me. And I was raised in a rabbit pen, and I'll tell you what, she held my sister's child for all those years as it was my mother's, and it's actually my sister's. And I realized that when I seen the pictures and the photos, and I offered them, they're in the other videos that just priorly I've set them up, that shows my sister with the child. But now, going back to that, here I'm at that bar, and I haven't been there that long, and I'm just by myself, by the way. I'm just up there. I'm in my leather jacket. I look good. Hey ho. I got my Toyotas. I got my Supra outside. Oh man, I'm so cool uptown. I can drink beer now. So I go in that bar, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm drinking a beer, not drunk, just a beer. I don't get drunk in public. By the way, if I get drunk someplace, I know somebody could take advantage of me, so I don't drink with people. I guess I drink alone. I go into a place, I have 2 drinks, and I leave. I make the best out of it. You know, there's been a couple times I've had some really good time, like down at the Pepper Mill, and there's a heck of a lot of people there that night. Jim King was there, he could verify it. The place was packed. And and it was like me and Sandy, we got to dance up there on this, or it was just the DJ's little square hole right there, but there's a little square place where you could stand right there and ask the DJ for you know will you play this song for me, a request. And so here me and Sandy's up there just fucking dancing, and Sandy's just tweak corking. Oh boy, when you go out with me, you're gonna have some fucking fun, because it all seems like a lot of people have fun. I don't know if it's like, but I was running a bowling alley and stuff too. I was really popular. I mean, my wife was the DJ, and she was the number one rated DJ in Washington State. I used to sit around with her. We used to make up little slogans what she was going to say at work. So I don't know. Where was we? Where was we? But I just love telling stories, especially when they're so true, of things that's happened. Oh boy. Oh, and anyway, I was uptown at that uh, bar, and I'm looking out. All of a sudden, I see the cops looking at me, like almost right through the window of my car, you know, just looking, and they see me. I put the thing down. I don't even think I took a drink where they could see me taking a drink out of the beer bottle. I just didn't do it. But they knew that that car belonged to me, and I'm attached to that car, and they're fucking gonna get me. And I'm like, I walked right out, stuck my key in that car, and when you stick the key in the car, the whole light thing lights up as you stick it in. It was a really cool car. And I started that thing up, and I put it in gear, and I pulled up, and I went around the block, and I went around, because here's the bowling alley, and here's the barn, right here's Fairhart's house. On the other side, it's like the yin and the yang. And I go and I just roll right around the block in front of my dad's employer, Mitzi Fairhart, because it's supposed to be her bowling alley. But it's my dad's bowling machines, he's telling me. What the hell's going on with it? Well, it's all connected with criminal crimes and everything else. So anyway, and those cops, they're after me because of my dad. I don't know, they want to do something. And this is when little Joe is going to put a hit on me too. And I started remembering, that's why I started putting things together, because you know, I'm bombarded with things back then, and you know, I've been putting pieces of things together. So I've got out there, I've gone around the corner, I'm at Mitzi Fairhart's house, I'm at the stop sign, and the cops, they must have went down to Van Cleves and came back and went like this because they just drove right in front of me. And they didn't realize that it was me that was pulling up to the sign like this as they rolled through. And when they got over here about where the alley would be, you know, they realized that I was right there already. And they put their car in reverse and they started backing up like they were going to cut me off a little bit. It wasn't quite to the alley, it was between us kind of. And I just pulled through the intersection like I've done nothing wrong. Because I goddamn know what they're doing, you know. And I just, as soon as they're out of sight, woo, 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 woo. Fuck, I just, 2 blocks, 3 blocks down, there's a dip that goes down like this, and then just right around my dad's house. And I beat those people all the way down because they went to the end of the road and they went like this, and they're just going like they're trying to catch me. You know, they can't see me because I beat them to the next set of houses, and then they couldn't see me looking through the blocks, and I had all this house fucking blockage. I mean, a fucking goddamn perfect timing. Don't race me, I'll beat you. I work for Jim Van Cleve Sr., and Jim Jr. knows me. Whoop, 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 whoop. You know, around town. I come past this place, I light up the tires. Want to race, Jim? You know, I don't say it like that, but he knows I would. So, anyway, so with a lot of people in Morton, Washington back then, would like to race Jimmy Van Cleve Jr. You know, hey, come on out. He's young like us, but he won. He was too. Jimmy Van Cleve was too professional. He'd only race on the raceway. Darn it. At least I never caught him out and about. So now I've raced down there and I got around that corner. By the way, this is right here was where Skip Davis pulled me and my brother Jim over and told us to get that car, that exhaust fixed on that goddamn car. Then he ended up dead from dying from asphyxiation, the Zodiac. So did 2 other people in that town that night. So the cops go running around. I get down there, I pull right into my dad's driveway, right there where his house burnt down. And you guys read about that one too. And I just jump out of the car. I get out, close the door, I walk over. My dad's got up. He heard me fucking coming. He says, I heard you coming. You know, wah, wah, wah. I get in that Toyota. If I can, I handed him the keys. I said, I've been here. Like that. I'm standing there with my dad. My dad starts, they put the spotlight on me and stuff right there. My dad's got the keys on his side of the door. You know, I've already drank a beer. I don't want them to get me with the keys in my hand and get me for a DWI. You know, I mean, I'm that fast. So, next thing you know, they got the spotlight on me, and my dad's sitting there in his window right there, his bedroom that he built on that house burnt down right there, and his bedroom burnt down. His bedroom burnt down. So anyway, and my dad's saying, what do you want with my boy? What do you want with my boy? You know, I didn't know that the cops and the relationship and stuff. I know that my friend was murdered right there in front of me, only a block away from this house that my dad now lives in. The yin and the yang. Look, my dad now moved into this house that's diagonally away from this house. I don't know why my dad married Judy Hewitt, but I still, when I, in 1980, when I came to the Morton Bowl, and the Alpine Bowl, after when my mom moved out from my dad, I came there to see my dad, to hear it from the horse's mouth what's going on. I came there, my dad didn't even know I pulled up. I came up to the trailer house, walkway. He had gravel, he had 2x4s like this. There's a deck right there. I come up on the deck. He didn't know I was there. I was in this LTD brown car I bought from Elwyn. And I see him inside the door, and I see my dad, and my dad sees me, and I just go ahead and I open the door, and I said, hey, I said, how long's this been going on? Because he's wearing glasses, and he's got a green bag there that now, after I've seen it, it resembles a parachute bag. And he had it open, he had his legal papers in there, and that's when I seen the legal papers. And I talked to him about wearing glasses, because I never seen him in glasses before. And he laughed, and he made fun of me a little bit. I remember a few things, and I didn't really care for it, you know. Anyway, I started telling some stories tonight, and sometimes I just jump. There were so many things that happened back then, you know, and putting it together with everything. I'm giving the information freely. There's Hezbollah in Morton, Washington. There's a museum uptown across the street from 101 Main Street. There's a museum, and there's a Fairhart's building right there behind it too. They hide shit behind shit, and their shit's right there. And they got the yin and the yang in that place, and they got this bowling alley on this place, and they got this on this place, and the credit union from the river to the sea. You know what I suggest? I think would be something, since Lebanese put it there, right there, those Fairharts and stuff. Hey, if those Lebanese want to all go there and we hang them out, we put them right there in Morton, Washington, till we figure out what to do with all of them. All of them from the Middle East. Do you want to go to Morton, Washington, and be with George Fairhart and their family right there at that bowling alley with the saw on it? Hey, if they're in America already, why don't we just put them right there in Morton, Washington, where we can keep an eye on them? Apparently, they're Lebanon lovers, Assyrians in Morton, Washington. The Fairharts are right there. You know, if we got all these people in there, and you know what? And then, by the way, George Fairhart's right there, the guy that jumped up in front of me, saying, now your dad's my slave, now your dad's my slave. And you know what? George Fairhart's going to be right there. We should re-educate those people and get them right back to the Middle East, rebuilding the Middle East. And you know what? We might be able to make some money right here in Washington State by spending all this housing money and stuff right there in this depressed economy, this sick little twisted Morton, Washington, and Lewis County, Washington, which these clowns have set up for some kind of a invasion to the Middle East. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I call this judo. Hey, you know what? If you've seen my other videos, I'd like to do the Love Boat, where we get these people right on the cruise ships, send them right back to the Middle East, get them some counseling, put them back to work rebuilding their little country on the Gaza Strip, because if they don't move in, other invaders will. Instead of them moving here and taking up our area, let's put them back over there, and let's put them back to work in their own country. And you know what? Maybe they should have gun rights, because if those citizens that live in Gaza has gun rights, because I think everybody should have gun rights that owns or lives in their country, born in their country, so they can fear off invaders, people that harass them. Because if I didn't have no rights, people that have guns can threaten me with their guns, but I don't have no rights. That's not fair. My name's John Wright. I know all about guns, and I know all about threats. And please believe me when I say I work for America every day. Almost 15 minutes. I'm out of here. Bye.